My name is Daniel Reed. I'm 52 years old. I've never been the kind of man to yell or throw things. I grew up with a father who thought his belt said everything he couldn't. I swore I wouldn't be that kind of man. So I learned how to speak softly and hold steady, even when it hurt. For most of my adult life, that worked. I married Claire when we were 30. We built a family. 2 kids, Ethan, who's now 14 and smarter than he lets on, and Lily, our 10-year-old who still draws flowers on my lunch napkins. I worked in logistics. Claire worked in marketing. We paid our bills. We laughed on Fridays. We were normal. But sometimes, normal is just a word people use to cover silence. Claire had been distant lately. Not cold. Exactly. Just preoccupied. Longer showers. Slower kisses. A phone always face down. But I told myself she was just stressed. I didn't want to be the insecure husband. I didn't want to be my father. Then she said she had to go to Denver. 3-day conference. Left on a Thursday morning with a sleek carry-on and a kiss on my cheek that felt more like a memory than a promise. She barely texted the first day. Said it was wall-to-wall meetings. Fair enough. But the second day, nothing. Just one missed call. 1:13 a.m. no message. When I tried calling back straight to voicemail, that's when something tightened in my chest. I told myself to breathe. Told myself to trust her. But then Lily asked, "Can we surprise mommy with flowers when she gets back?" And Ethan said, "Why don't we go to her instead?" Half joking, half serious. That's when the idea rooted itself. What if we did? I booked the tickets that night. Told the kids it would be an adventure. Packed light. Bought flowers from the airport kiosk and let Lily choose a card. She picked one with a big glitter heart and the words, "You're our favorite person." By the time we landed in Denver, I had convinced myself it would be fine. Maybe even romantic. Maybe I'd knock on that hotel room door and see her light up with joy. Maybe the silence would make sense. Maybe we'd laugh about it later. But something sat heavy in my gut. The front desk clerk smiled politely when I gave Claire's name. "Yes, she's staying with us. Room 814. I asked if she was in. The clerk nodded and handed me a key card without blinking. I don't know what I expected to feel as the elevator climbed. Nerves? Maybe. Excitement? Even. But mostly, I felt still, like something was watching me from inside my own chest. Waiting. We walked quietly down the hall. Ethan carried Lily's backpack. I held the flowers and the card. I stood outside the door for a long second, heart pounding like I was about to ruin something that was already broken. Then I swiped the key. The lock. Click. And what I saw inside made the world tip sideways. The door swung open with its soft hotel click, the kind that always sounds too gentle for the damage it delivers. Lily rushed in first, because she always does, her little shoes pattering across the carpet. I stepped in behind her, smiling out of habit until my eyes finally focused. There were men's clothes on the chair, not just any clothes. A button-down shirt draped over the back like someone had peeled it off after a long night. A pair of jeans on the floor beside the bed. A black leather belt coiled on top, as if waiting for the man who wore it to come back and tighten it round his waist again. My heart didn't drop. It didn't explode. It just stopped being a heart. It became a sound. A dull, slow thud in my ears. On the nightstand was a bottle of cologne. Heavy, expensive, definitely not mine. And right beside it Claire's phone. Plugged in. Screen still lit from a notification. She hadn't brought it with her. She hadn't even tried to hide it. Ethan stepped in behind me. He froze. I could feel him. Not moving, barely breathing. "Daddy, whose stuff is that?" I didn't answer. I couldn't. Not yet. My first instinct was stupidly gentle. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe the hotel mixed something up. Maybe. But then I saw the open suitcase on the bed. Not hers. Shoes too big. Boxers too large. A charging cable snaking across the pillow that wasn't even rumpled from sleep. All of it ranged casually, intimately, like someone had been living here, comfortably for days. Every defense I tried to build for her crumbled like chalk in the rain. I walked deeper into the room and set the flowers down on the small table by the window. I placed the glittery card beside them. Lily had drawn a heart under the printed one, her marker strokes still visible. It felt cruel, placing it there, like decorating the scene of a crime. My chest tightened. Not from rage, not from heartbreak, from a kind of hollow disbelief I can't fully describe. It was the feeling of realizing you'd been talking to a ghost for months without knowing it. I moved toward the dresser, almost on instinct. On top of it was Claire's necklace, the one Ethan bought her last Mother's Day with his saved allowance. She wore it every day. Except now, Dad? Ethan's voice cracked. Lo, is Mom? Is she okay? I opened my mouth, but before any words came out, there were voices outside the door. A woman's laugh. Hers. God. I'd know that sound anywhere. Light, throaty, carefree, the kind she hasn't used with me in years. It cut through me cleanly, like a cold blade. Then a man's voice, deep, confident, comfortable, right outside the door. My hands went cold. My breath vanished. I glanced at Ethan. He looked at me the way a boy does when he knows something is wrong but doesn't know if he's allowed to say it out loud. Lily was humming near the window, blissfully unaware, playing with the flowers. I didn't move. I didn't hide. I didn't even think. I just stood there as the key card beeped from outside. The door handle turned. Everything inside me went silent. Not the silence of peace, the silence of impact right before a car hits you. And then the door swung open. The door opened fast, like she wasn't expecting anything behind it. Claire stepped in first, laughing, cheeks flushed from the cold, towel wrapped tied around her. Her hair was damp, curling at the ends. She looked younger in that moment, like the version of her I'd met 22 years ago. She was mid-sentence, turned toward the hallway behind her. And then she saw me. The laughter died instantly. Her mouth stayed open, but no words came out. Her eyes darted past me to Ethan, to Lily, to the flowers on the table. Then behind her, the man entered. He froze just as fast. Tall, tan, shirtless. He wasn't startled, just annoyed, like we'd interrupted something private. For a second, the room existed in absolute silence. Then Claire broke it. Why didn't you call first? She snapped, not scared, not ashamed, just offensive, like I was the one out of line. My heart didn't even flinch. It had already done its breaking hours ago. Ethan stepped back. Lily looked up, confused. She clutched the card tightly. I turned to Claire, slowly. I thought we'd surprise you. She didn't move. The towel slipped slightly from one shoulder. She didn't fix it. The man behind her scoffed and stepped back into the hallway, muttering something about giving them a minute. Claire said nothing. I looked at the kids. Ethan, Lily, come say hi to your mother, Claire gasped. Daniel, don't. But it was too late. Lily ran forward, holding out the flowers like a peace offering to a war she didn't understand. Ethan walked slowly, his eyes locked on his mother, expression hardening with every step. What's going on? Lily asked. Why's Mommy wearing a towel? Claire tried to kneel, but Ethan blocked her. Don't, he said, voice tight. Just don't. Claire's mouth trembled. For the first time, I saw real fear in her. Not fear of getting caught, fear of being truly seen. She looked like someone realizing they weren't the hero in their own story anymore. I bent down, took Lily's hand in one of mine, and rested the other on Ethan's shoulder. We're going home, I said. But Mom, Lily began. She'll call, I said. Later, Claire followed us into the hallway, calling my name. But I didn't turn back. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I'd already won the only thing that mattered. We passed the front desk as a bellhop held the door. I felt Claire's eyes on my back like heat. In the lobby. As we walked out, Lily whispered, she didn't take the flowers. No, I said gently. She didn't. And Ethan, without looking back, muttered, she doesn't deserve them. That night, I tucked Lily into bed while Claire's number lit up my phone again and again. Ethan sat on the couch, arms crossed, staring at nothing. I silenced the calls. In the morning, I called a lawyer. She could keep her Denver towels. I was keeping my children.